Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to the desktop for another episode of House Rules. And this is the second episode. As of when I'm recording this, the first episode only went live a couple of days ago, and it's been very well received. And I appreciate all the very lovely comments, very thoughtful comments as well. People have been discussing various dice resolution systems, because that's what the first episode was all about. But what I realised after rewatching that episode was I haven't really come down on a D6 based resolution system. I'd decided after going through all the different resolution systems, from D20 based systems like Dungeons and Dragons, D10 systems like the World of Darkness, etc., that the system I liked best was D6 based, where you were rolling a bunch of dice against a target number and then counting the number of successes, rather than the Star Wars D6 system where you rolled a bunch of D6s and added them up to go against a very high target number. But what I've realised is there's various ways of doing that. So let's have a look at a few games which cover that. So first of all, I'd like to start with Shadowrun First Edition, the nice blue covered version here. You'll pardon all my character sheets sticking out the top. But First Edition Shadowrun works it so you are rolling a bunch of dice based on your skill or attribute or whatever you're rolling against a target number. But the target number is variable. So a very low target number can be a 3, where if you roll on a d6 a 3, 4, 5 or 6, you get a success. But they can go very high as well. So target numbers can be as high as 12, 13. They can be off the scale. Now how do you get a 12 or 13 on d6? Well, if you roll the d6 and it comes up as 6, then you roll and add. However, this does lead to a dead space in the middle, because if you roll a 6, and then the lowest you can roll is a 1. So rolling a 6 and a 7 are exactly the same. You can never roll less than a 7. So where you're looking at things like weapons, where a weapon looks better because it does 7 damage, so people need to roll 7s to resist, essentially that is no improvement to a weapon which does 6 damage, because they need to roll a 6, and they can't roll just a 6, they have to roll a 7 because of the way the dice work. So it's kind of got a weird complication in there. It also is a bit odd that you end up with rolling a lot of dice and your target number's 8 something, so you're throwing away a bunch of dice and getting your 6s to re-roll and hopefully get the target numbers you need. Now this was simplified in later editions, but before we go into those, the World of Darkness systems like Vampire use a fairly similar system, except they use d10s, but the target number can change. So a very simple routine task will require 3s on your d10, whereas very difficult tasks will require 9s or 10s. Now given a 1 takes away from your successes, if a target number is a 10, then basically you've got 50-50 chance of succeeding, because you've got as much chance of rolling a success as you have for a fail. So suddenly your skill level doesn't matter, because you're as likely by rolling more dice to roll 1s, which take away from your skill, as you are to roll successes. So within that, limiting it so you don't make target numbers 10s, it's a slightly more flexible system than Shadowrun, and especially doesn't include the stupid reroll and add part. But what they did in Shadowrun 2nd Edition, nice black cover here to identify it as 2nd Edition, even if it didn't say so across the bottom, is they added in a static target number, which was you were trying to get 5s and 6s in later editions. I believe it was 4, 5s and 6s in 2nd Edition. But you're rolling against a static target number. So you're rolling your bunch of dice against the static target number. That was a terrible roll. And those all don't matter, you've got 1 success. Now target numbers never change, so it's always the same thing you're rolling against, which simplified things a lot. But they've added in an interesting mix into the later free league games like Twilight 2000. Now Twilight 2000 doesn't just use d6s, it uses different sizes of dice. But based on what you roll, a particularly high success can be more than 1 success. So on a d6, if you're rolling a 6, then it's a success. If you're rolling a 1, then it counts towards your fails. But if you're rolling a d10 instead of the d6, then anything higher than a 6 counts as 1 success. But anything higher than an 8 counts as 2 successes. So you can get that variability on a dice roll. Well, that's something I really like, but I don't want to have multiple types of dice. So where my mind is going at the moment, and we can discuss this in the comments, is to have a d6 based system where you roll your dice. Ones will count against you. We will work out exactly how later. Could be that if you get more fails than successes, then it leads to a botch. It could be that they just take away from your number of successes, and if you've got any outstanding, then it's a botch. Otherwise, it's just an ordinary fail. We're undecided on that yet. But on the dice, what I think I'd like is that if you get a 5, you get 1 success. And if you get a 6, you get 2. And a 1 takes away. So, essentially, when you're rolling your dice, let's hope for a better distribution here. Let's change that to a 5. So we've got 3 successes there, but the 1 takes away 1. So we've got 2 successes. I think that's an interesting flexibility in the system, that a dice can give you more than 1 success, or 1 hit, on a target number, or on a task. But ones still allow you to take away from that. Anyway, I just wanted to add this on to the discussion of D6-based resolution systems and flesh out that video, because I did realise that I'd cut that one a little short. But I think going forward, as we go through other parts of creating a game and doing house rules, that's the system I'm going to be basing it around. You're going to be rolling your dice to get a certain number of hits, and 5s count as 1 hit, 6s count as 2. Perhaps that's overly complex. People can tell me that I'm an idiot for thinking that sounds simple, but let me know what your thoughts are, and we'll carry on going into other areas of the rules in the next video. I just wanted to finish off the dice resolution parts in this one. So thank you very, very much for watching as always, but most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.